What is going on, everybody? It's a sexy episode today.
Oh, it is a sexy episode.
Well,
I don't have a sexy voice.
What?
I don't have a sexy voice like you do.
You can't go high.
No.
Sexy time. Garcelle Beauvais is our lovely, sexy guest today.
Yes.
I say sexy because she is someone who, in her own life, her own podcast, a very sex-positive woman.
She is.
And so I was about to say I took advantage of that, which seems weird to say given the context of our conversation, but it's fun to talk about sex.
It is fun to talk about sex and to have somebody so open about it, which I think is what you're saying. Like,
yes.
You had somebody who was willing to have those conversations.
So we took that journey together. We went down that path, so to speak, into that hole.
Into the sex?
Into the sex hole. That was on purpose, by the way. You might know Garcelle from a long, long list of things she's done over the years.
Coming to America. Jamie Foxx Show.
Jamie Foxx. She's been in everything. Coming to America.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, obviously.
She on Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
She's obviously on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now and kicking ass on there.
Yeah.
But I had a ton of fun with her, and definitely some lightness and just good, clean fun this episode. So I hope you enjoy it. And anything going on in your world? You look lovely today.
Thank you so much. Nothing really. Maybe a safe Tinder thing later, but that's it.
You have a Tinder date?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Safe one. It's safe.
Oh, you're worried. Yeah, we don't want to get social distance shamed.
Yeah. Love the social distance shaming.
Yeah. It's like, have you talked to anyone recently? No.
Never talked to a person in my life. It's terrible.
Well, I'm happy that you're going on maybe you'll take some notes from this episode. On the date. I don't remember I don't know if we gave notes.
I don't know if we gave notes, but there's definitely some good information.
Yeah.
You answered a question that I think every girl wanted an answer to.
What was that? What was the question?
The question was, Garcelle asked you, does every girl's vagina feel the same?
Oh, yeah, she did.
She did.
Well, tune in for the answer.
It's a good one. I love it.
All right. Should we really drop this? No, I'm just kidding. It's fun.
It's fun.
Well.
On that note, I heard you have a Patreon.
Yeah, speaking of not everything being the same. Or is it? We don't know.
We don't know.
Check out Nick V Talks Trash TV on my Patreon with all my wonderful exes. Jasmine Good's episode that drops tomorrow on that, and that's a fun one. You're gonna if you remember.
You're the one who choked you, right?
The one who choked me. And then we talk about the infamous volleyball date, how it all went down and how it came to be, and we shed some light on the confusion. Well, go back and watch on HBO Max, and then go. Have some fun on my Patreon.
Yeah.
Let's get to Garcelle, shall we? Garcelle, thanks so much for coming.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Well, not thanks for coming on, not coming because of Corona. We're staying safe, but how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I thought it would be really exciting to have you on. Like we were talking before, you've done so many cool things in the entertainment business, and now you've been open for a while in terms of talking about your life, obviously being a part of the Housewives franchise, that becomes a part of your everyday life. And just be fun to have a fun conversation with you about all things in your world, dating, relationships. You're so it's so fun to talk to people who are so open about
Thank you.
The things that go on in their lives, because, we live in this kind of society where everything, can I talk about this? Am I supposed to be able to say that?
Right.
Yeah. And so thanks for coming on.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
how has it been? Like recently, I know you have your podcast, which is great, by the way. I just listened to your episode with Nicole.
We go there on Going to Bed with Garcelle. We really go there.
Yeah, that was kind of, the first episode I listened to, you're just like, hey, by the way, make sure your kids aren't around.
That's why it's so good.
I was like, oh.
It's amazing.
I don't have any children. But...
Yeah, put the headphones on in the car.
I definitely make sure my kids aren't around. That's for sure. I'm always looking over my shoulder.
How old are your children?
The ones that are home are 12.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and so is that something have you always been that way in terms of talking about sex and relationships and kind of putting it out there? Or is that something that you recently felt empowered to do?
Yeah, I don't think always. I mean, I definitely growing up, a Haitian family, sex was not talked about. Mm-hmm. Body parts weren't really talked about. So I think it's once I became an adult and realized that it's okay for us to sit around. We all have the same parts, right? And so, I mean, women and men. And and I just think, why not be open about it? We all share the same experiences here and there. And I think it gives us permission to sort of connect that way.
Yeah. Have you felt like you've learned more about yourself and then your friends or your ability to even be a better partner by when you started kind of being more open and putting out there and say things like, well, this is what I like and don't like. And then your friends were like, well, yes and no. And all those kind of things. You start sharing information and collaborating.
Yeah, definitely. I think the more we share, the more we not only know about each other, but we go, wait a minute, I felt that way. And I didn't realize that I was I wasn't the only one. So I think once you start doing that, it's like, all right, we can talk about this. And listen, my podcast started from the idea of it. I used to have like once a month, I'd have like a bunch of girls over. Sometimes I would do couples. Sometimes I would do an eclectic group. And we would all sit around, gossip, drink, and sex would always come up. Mm-hmm. And so by the end of each time, somebody would say to me, this is a show. Why aren't you doing this show? So finally, my producing partner, Lisa, and I were like, why not do it? And then we partnered with MGM. And we were like, it's a great time to incubate it, during the quarantine. So here we are.
So you would have friends over, and when you say couples, so like their partners, their spouses, men and women would just be openly just kind of, would they be like sharing their like stories?
Yeah, they would be sharing their stories. They would be sharing like their past with other, partners. And it was just so crazy that people were so open about that it was just fun.
Yeah.
Because after a few drinks, everybody's a little looser. You'll say more. And that's really where it came from.
What are some of your favorite stories that came from that, or something that maybe you learned? That you seem like a very open person. Were you shocked by any of the stories, and from any of these kind of hangouts? Did you feel like trying something new? We're like, I'm going to incorporate that next time.
Absolutely. A lot was learned during those times, but also I was surprised that some women liked having sex in the morning. I'm not one of them. I found that because I like the whole ambiance of it all. Some women liked, getting it from the back. It just depended. It was really interesting that husbands would say, oh, it turned me off if a girl said this, and we would be shocked.
Like what?
We thought guys got turned on by, the air.
We're simple, but we're not that simple.
Right.
I will say that, like, I think guys, they overall are just horny, simple creatures, but every guy has this kind of like weird thing.
Yeah.
Like seemingly normal that they're like, nah, I don't like that. Or I don't hate it.
Baby talk?
Oh God, you baby talk with me. I will shut down. I will shut down.
I would shut down as well.
Whimpering? Oh God. Kill me now.
I felt like, also like there were times I read something that 20 guys think about sex every 28 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, holy crap, that's a lot.
It's like, that's a fair statement.
I mean, I don't know if it's I'm not going to sit there and deny it. I don't. Well, it's one of those things where like sex is all around us, right? Billboards, magazines, the internet. And there's not a moment where you don't see something. And if you're a guy that goes, huh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That.
Porn,
yeah.
Yeah. You can get to porn really easy on your phone, which is shocking.
Yeah. Well, it finds you sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
It hasn't found me. Maybe it's found you. Speak for yourself.
you're on an ad, all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling judged. I want to hear more about these kind of these stories, if that would happen at your dinner parties that you feel like you wanted to incorporate, especially maybe from the. It's always I think it is. We have a lot of women listeners listen to this podcast, and I think it's always kind of interesting and surprising sometimes to hear what guys think that they didn't realize. And everyone's different. I don't think like most guys either too. And so it's always very interesting to hear kind of women be more open about some of these things, because we do get we have that Puritan kind of culture, and we feel wronged by talking about it. But guys, the locker room talk. Guys have always been open talking about it with each other.
That's true. That's true. I feel like women, what I found that we liked role playing a lot more than men.
Okay.
Does that surprise you? Do you like role playing?
I don't hate it. Yeah. I don't mind it. Yeah, no, I'm into it. I'm totally into it.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a girlfriend and she was like, I don't want to be called, bitch during sex. And, I want to be called beautiful and babe. And I was like, that's not exciting to me, because you can get that on a daily. I like the sort of like the thug talk. You know what I mean?
Sure. It can vary. I mean, there have been times where I'm just like, we're dirty talk, whatever, role playing. And afterwards I'm like, hey, I really think you're great. And I do not think you're dirty or you're I respect you. Like, so we're clear, like
you had to clean it up.
I don't think you are actually a, whatever it is I called you.
I wouldn't normally choke you that way.
Yeah. Are you okay? Because I'm okay. You seem like
that's actually okay. That's actually okay to do afterwards.
I think it's good to check.
You went a little too far.
You definitely want to check in. You got to check in. I
like that.
But yeah. So your women friends, it varies in terms of whether they like the kind of the make love or fuck kind of.
Right, exactly. I think it varies depending on, who your partner is. If your partner's open enough. I remember once I said to a guy, during, sex, saying like, would you want to see me with someone else? And he was so like not into it, and it totally ruined the experience. And I think you also have to figure out who your partner is. If he's not down for that and that turns you on, then there's a problem.
For sure. Do you ever find sometimes with you that for me, I find sometimes just the idea of something, even if I don't ever plan on doing it, especially like you make up a great example, like, would it ever turn you on to see me with another person? Right. I may never want to do that, but thinking about it in a kind of fucked up sort of way of torturous, I can, you can convince me that's hot.
Yeah. I think my problem is, though, because I'm an actress, I think I sold it too well. I think he was kind of like giving me a side eye, like, wait a minute, this sounds too real.
Yeah, I don't know. It's did you find you've been married before? Like, is that something that you were always kind of being adventurous in the bedroom is a way to spice up the relationship and keep it fresh? Because I'll tell you what, I get a ton of questions from married couples who are just like, I love my husband, but like, it's the same movie, man. Like, how many? And they're always asking for ways to mix it up. I've never been married, so I try to give examples, but you seem like you have experience in that department and ways that you are open to being adventurous. And, is that something you've ever struggled with in your marriages?
Not in my marriages. I mean, I feel like you have to do that. I mean, you have to do that in your own life. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to eat the same food every day. So I think you have to spice it up. You have to try new things, but you have to be in sync with your partner. If you're married to someone who doesn't want to do any of that and just likes missionary all the time, then I think that would get boring.
Yeah.
I
agree. Have you become, as you get older, I've always, when I was younger, I always heard something like women hit their sexual peak in their 30s or 40s, where like guys as horny teenagers in their early 20s. Do you think that's true, or do you feel like you've always been sexual your whole life, and that's almost a misconception or a stereotype?
I mean, I think there's an ebb and flow to everything. It depends on, what's going on in your life. But I feel like I don't think you can put an age to it where it sort of decreases or increases. I think it's your experience. You know what I mean? Like when you're pregnant, you're so sexual and you're horny all the time.
Really?
At least I was. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it depends on your connection with your man at that time. I think it's how you feel about your body changes, how you are sexually. I think it doesn't stop, especially if you are a sexual person.
I mean, I hear you.
Write that one down.
I keep,
In fact, I just did.
Keep waiting.
I wrote it down.
We talk a lot about physical health and mental health, but what about your sexual health?
Here we go again.
Whether you hit the gym, take a walk, or meditate, if you want to take care of your whole self, you need to prioritize your pleasure along the way with your mind and body. That's right. Dipsy, people, is here to help you with that journey. That's right. In times of stress or anxiety, it can be hard to remember and take time to focus on yourself. But your joy and pleasure are so important, especially right now, putting your well-being first with Dipsy. Dipsy is an audio app full of short and sexy stories and guided sessions that are designed to turn you on and help you get in touch with yourself.
I dipped my toe in the Dipsy.
Primed for that Tinder date you got going on.
Tinder date.
That's right. Stories are relatable and immersive, so it feels like you're right there. And there's something for everyone, whoever and whatever you're into. I should test that out. They add new content every week, so there's always more to explore in addition to your own body. Find stories about a spontaneous hookup with a hot stranger, getting closer with your sexy yoga instructor you can't stop thinking about, or even stories about trying a new toy, or getting tied up. Yeah. And for listeners of our show, Dipsy is offering a 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/VIALL. That's 30 days free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/VIALL, dipsystories.com/VIALL. I love going to markets that have all the goods, all the wonderful goods that are healthy, cost effective. They serve all my needs. Thrive Market, people.
Yeah.
Check it out.
When you're missing the farmer's market.
That's right. If it's like going to a farmer's market online.
It's organic, sustainable groceries.
They tailor to over 70 different diets and values like paleo, keto, or plant-based, delivering the highest quality organic and sustainable essentials from groceries, healthy snacks, meat and seafood, clean wines, non-toxic cleaning, and bath and body. As a member, I'm saving up to 50%, 25 to 50% off traditional retail prices, and their carbon neutral shipping is free on orders over $49. The savings I get on my favorite clean organic products are amazing, but I also feel good about the help I'm doing in my communities.
Getting better food for a better price.
And I'm shipping it clean, baby. In addition to membership matching, the Thrive Market has raised over $750,000 to date in their efforts through COVID-19 relief funds. So they're doing good things. So listen, they have it all. Healthy food, products, supplies. Check it out. Thrive Market, great pricing, save a ton of money. And when you buy it, the most fun thing is it's always fun to see how much you saved.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Go to thrivemarket.com/VIALL. Join today and you'll get a free gift of your choosing up to $22 in value. That's THRIVE market.com/VIALL to start your risk-free membership and get a free gift today. thrivemarket.com/VIALL. The only difference for me, it's just it's the recovery time as I get older. It's
not as sprightly.
I like that.
I could do
that.
multiple reps, so to speak, when I was younger. Now it's just hey, I just
Give me 10 minutes.
Give me 10. Give me a good 45.
Yeah. I recently talked to Lunel, the comedian. She said she did it 9 times in one day with her husband. And I was like, can you walk the next day? Could you walk?
I'd be curious to know if he climaxed 9 times or they just had sex 9 different times.
I would be curious to know that as well.
Because if he climaxed 9 times, then he's not human, or I want to hear what kind of diet,
what vitamins he's
Right.
got.
hydrating
what
a lot.
kind of diet?
Yeah, I don't. That's just not possible for
Right. Yeah.
for me. I don't know.
Don't knock it till you try it. You never know.
That's right.
I'm not knocking the 9 times. I just said like, hey, it's like
Goals.
we can keep going, but I don't think anything's gonna happen on my end. So.
Right.
You know, because like I do feel like we've talked about this before. When women climax, it's harder for a guy, assuming he even gives a shit, to know it's happening, right? Like we talked about though Harry Met Sally. She's like, I can fake an orgasm.
Yeah.
When a guy orgasms, I guess he could fake it, but it's harder to fake it if you're a guy. Either he either did or he didn't. So there's an expectation, I think, sometimes. And as a guy, you're just like, hey, this isn't going to happen, because it already happened. And then there's always this conversation. It isn't me. And I'm just like, no, I'm just like, I'm not 19 anymore. What do you,
Right.
Can you tell? Have I been able to tell if a girl's faking it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this before. There was one time I was having sex with this person, and we immediately started having sex. Immediately, no, soon after we started having sex, he just started yelling out, "I'm coming, I'm coming," and I'm just like, "There's no fucking way," like it just sounded like porn.
Yeah.
Did you question her cum?
I did. I didn't say anything in the moment, but I was like, what it sounded like is that she watched a lot of porn, and she told me she did, and I was just like, okay, I don't think you are.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like,
who knows?
Everyone climaxes differently.
Right.
I for me in relationships, it's always been important to me to always make my partner feel comfortable. I'm a big on communication,
Nice.
and communicating the idea that like there's nothing wrong if you don't tell me, because there's always, what do you like? There's different ways. Like it doesn't always have to happen the same way. Don't feel bad if you didn't, because I just want to, like, this idea, like if you don't tell me that you don't, then I won't know what to do better or different. Right. So I think for me, it's always been important to make my partner feel comfortable with this idea that they didn't. Like, you don't need to make me feel like some sort of rock star or whatever. I'm sure people have faked it. Especially if there's early on. I think early on when you're hooking up with someone, there might not be a comfort level. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
You said something about porn. I feel like early on, it's always a little awkward. You sort of have to get to know each other and get that vibe going. But do you think porn is ruining relationships?
I think so. Yeah. I think
so too.
I think there's no way you can't say it doesn't have a negative effect on things, because
exactly.
Even if you think, let me know if you agree, that too much of anything can be a bad thing for the moment, and
agree. And I worry about like the young kids, like growing up. I feel like nowadays it's so accessible. It's on your phone. You can get it anytime, that it's sort of ruining it for young adults, because they have this, idea, oh my God, she's going to do this. And oh my God, he's going to do that. And then it's like, it's kind of a letdown.
Totally. And porn is made for men. The traditional porn that we're seeing out there, it's designed to get men off, not, I don't think, women off. And so, some of these things that you're seeing in porn, like young men and even young women might be like, oh, I guess that's sex. I think that's what's hot.
Right.
And the idea that, and I think it makes men think they're good at something they're not. And then it probably makes young women who, or if they're learning from sex that way, then I've heard this from people. They go years thinking something's great. Like they might be having fun, but they're like, wait, I wasn't having an orgasm. Like, wait, oh yeah, it's almost like, yeah, I kind of hated it, but I just thought that's what I was supposed to do,
Right.
Stuff like that.
But don't you think it could help like identify maybe some things also, like what you might like, or maybe something that you see that maybe you didn't think that you would like, that maybe you can talk to your partner about in that way as well?
I don't think porn's all bad.
Yeah.
No,
I think, wouldn't you agree, Garcelle, that but like anything else, not having limitations on it. And as a guy, I think as a guy, it desensitizes you.
Yeah, I agree. Just like I think, using a vibrator all the time desensitizes you too.
Girl.
Like at some point does the vibrator just become better than the dick?
Yes.
Yeah. It depends on the dick, but yes.
Yeah. It just can do some things that a dick can't do.
I've seen them. I understand. My dick will never vibrate. Like I like to think it can, and I'll do my best, but I can't do that. It can't vibrate and wiggle 4 different ways at the same time and have.
No.
I'm surprised no one's come out with something like that. I'm surprised no one's come out with a device that can do that.
They have the little ring.
Have your dick vibrate.
They have the ring.
It makes your actual. Oh, like the little rabbit. Have you heard?
Yeah, but they have like a ring.
Absolutely.
This is weird that I know this. They have a ring for men. So the ring has like a little vibrator on the bottom of it, and it goes over the penis, so that when you're having sex,
that's like the rabbit. Yeah, it's like a.
I thought you meant the ring, the door ring. I'm like, what is that?
No.
It's like a cock ring, and it goes on your
vibrator on
the dick, and it vibrates so that, and then when you're like fully penetrated, it will like hit the top of the clitoris. Am I saying this right?
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
One trip to Chi Chi LaRue's and you can learn all that.
But you can't. So if the vibrator gets to the point where it's just like, I don't really need the dick. What's the point of? Is it just having the human touch? Is it the man? A vibrator doesn't hug you.
A vibrator doesn't hug you.
Does it? Yeah. The vibrator doesn't take you to breakfast the next morning. No. I think, it can't replace, the human contact and the touch and having the weight of somebody on you and all that. It's just sort of surpasses the time until the guy comes.
I've heard you talked about this on your podcast episode with Nicole, and I've started hearing this phrase recently, dickmatized. What is that? Is that when you just have a really good
That's when you're
dick, but you hate him?
Oh, no, I don't know if you hate him, but I think his it's the magic wand that you lust for. You can't wait to have again. I think that's what that means.
Okay.
Like when a guy's whipped.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, it's the equivalent to that.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of that.
Okay. Like sexual napalm. Like that's
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning so much. What are some other secrets that women have about men that would enlighten us? Just the generalization about like men could do better, and whether our thoughtfulness as a partner
Definitely thoughtfulness. Definitely thoughtfulness. Definitely not falling asleep right away. I mean, I think those are things that can be improved upon.
I'm pretty sure that's like not our fault.
Oh yeah, come on, please.
I'm pretty sure like genetically it releases like a chemical that like, it's like, I've heard it's like eating turkey.
So getting off is like Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's like Thanksgiving.
No. The equivalent of a guy ejaculating is like eating a pound of turkey. And you're just like, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I might be making it up. Or maybe it's something I heard.
I'm going to leave that right there.
Speaking of all natural Happiness essential oils are here for you, helping you scent your indoor air clean, safe, and helping you do great things with your mind and body. Yeah, not just dipsy.
Not just dipsy.
But in all seriousness, essential oils can be a great way to a non-invasive way to help with your health. If nothing else, avoid toxic candles, Febreze air fresheners, plug-ins with clean essential oils through your indoor air by diffusing them. Or if you want to roll them on in a safe, applicable way. Our roll-ons are there. It helps with headaches. It helps with relaxation. They aren't the end-all, be-all. I don't like to oversell essential oils because a lot of times they get a bad rep for a cure-all, but they are great for me, you know, I know, and Chrissy, headaches. It's not good to take pop and ibuprofen and Advil. It's terrible for your gut health. And start trying using essential oils. They may help. And if they do, it's a great relief, and even relaxation, and to help just kind of get your focus back. And
I started making my own sprays with your oils.
Yeah, you can a good air freshener. They're a great substitute for laundry dryer sheets. Dryer sheets have a lot of toxic chemicals in it. You just get a wool ball, put a couple of drops of essential oil, throw it in the dryer. Done. Clean essential oils. NHOils.com. Use 30% off. You use code Sunday for 30% off. Free shipping. NHOils.com. Thanks for supporting us. We appreciate it. I promise you will love it. It's great for sleep. Great for just, again, your indoor air. Check us out. NHOils.com. Code Sunday for 30% off. Yeah, but what are some things that like you think that are out there in society that is a misconception about relationships in men or even women, or things that you've learned from men about like, oh, I didn't realize that, or I always thought guys used to think this or that. There's someone who's
you know what? It's funny. Me and my girlfriends always go like, why is it that guys, you know, want to have so many women when we all have the same thing? You know what I mean? We all have the same parts.
Oh.
But that's something I'd like for you to know. Like, is every pussy the same?
No. I mean, are you asking? Or
No. I'm asking you.
No, I don't know. I mean,
no.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, technically, yeah, they're all different, but equal opportunity. I enjoy it all. I don't know. Do they feel different? They don't.
Well, I'm sure
they don't feel
different.
They don't feel all that different.
They don't.
I mean, sure. Not that. I feel like there's more to you. Good
intel.
I don't think they feel all that different.
Okay.
Put it this way: if I'm having sex,
then why do you need so many varieties? That's my question.
I didn't say that I do.
Oh.
But
I didn't mean you, but I was
listen. I've never thought about this. I think the first time having sex with someone new, it's not as if I've been like, oh, okay, interesting feeling. I haven't like it. It's like, nope, I'm inside a vagina again. Like it's more like that rather than, ooh, what's this vagina feel like? I don't. Is that how it is for women?
Well, I would think that's how it is, because if you see a woman, you're attracted to her. You're like, I wonder what it would feel like to be with her.
Well, that feeling, essence, but it's more like what it's like to be next to her. What does she look like naked? What is she, all women are different, but I'm talking about the actual feeling of sex.
Yeah, that's what I mean too.
Is that how it is for women? That feels like,
I think for women, it's the whole experience. It's like, what is he like? What does he do? How will he, does he have a good rhythm? I think all those things we think about.
Okay.
But we don't think about it in the moment. But, as you're getting to know the person, I think you're being aroused by the way they speak, the way they touch, the way they smile, the way they laugh. I think all those things play into the experience of it.
Sure. So it's not just the actual the evaluation of the dick.
Right. Which, for you guys, there are different sizes. They're circumcised, uncircumcised. For us, it's really the same thing. It's either, is she waxed or did she not wax?
Yeah. It's really just, it's a hygiene thing, It's like, as long as there's some upkeep, I'm good to go, like it's fine. But yeah, I mean, if you really think, is there a variety? But there's not too much. I don't think guys are paying that close of attention, I guess is what
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's more of the, I think like with men or with women, it's, there are things that can turn off guys in the bedroom too.
For sure.
And a lot of it is too just chemistry. You just,
yeah. I definitely think it's chemistry.
I like to be connected with my partner, Me
too.
I feel like I make the best eye contact in life is when I'm having sex. You know, I might be aloof throughout the day and not paying attention to you, but if we're hooking up, like I'm locked in, you know? And so when I'm paying attention, like if you're trying to connect with someone and you feel like they're not there, that would bother me, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the connection is everything. I think the experience becomes better because of the connection.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think you'll get married?
I hope so. I'm more, I want kids. I always say, like, I grew up very traditional, and my parents I always thought I'd like be married with kids when I was young, and my parents have been married, I don't know how long now, but I really want children. So like I'm totally open to getting married. It's just not like, I don't care if I do or not. I do want to, I want to be in a monogamous relationship with someone and have a family.
Yay! That's what women want to hear.
Yeah.
That's what women
the idea of marriage. What I'm saying is I want to get married, but if I met someone and fell in love with her and we had a family and she was like, I'm just not big on like the whole ceremony, I'd be like, okay. Like, but as long as we're committed to each other, that's all like
Goldie Hawn.
Sure, yeah.
Kurt Russell.
I would love to have what Goldie and Kurt have. I would be so down for that. It's really honesty and trust for me it's always one of those things where
it's everything.
You say you prioritize, but now I prioritize it even more. Like really, even talking about when you said, like, oh, would you want to see me with another man? You know, to me, I just need to know how much I trust that person and trust their connection with me.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
If I felt like this was all about us role playing or expanding our palettes, but I just knew, I trusted that no matter what, she loved me, and that this was about us and not about her desire to like get off with another guy, I could go down that path because there's trust there. You know, for my friends who are in open relationships, I hear them tell their stories and it's just like, I don't know if I could do that, but what I see between them is this really close bond and connection and a lot of trust. And I value that with them. Have you seen that with some of your friends, or have you ever dabbled?
No, but I've seen that with my friends. I feel like you have to be really connected if you're in an open relationship. I think you have to be able to trust that somebody's not going to go off and do something behind your back. So for me, I think it's all about trust. Exactly what you're saying. I know before quarantine, I was like, I don't need to get married again. I will have just want a committed relationship. But I think after COVID, I'm like, I think I want to be married again.
Yeah.
I loved being married. I really did.
That's good to hear. I mean, you've been married, you've been divorced. So many of our listeners who have been married and divorced have this fear about dating. Women who have kids who get married and divorced and they fear about dating. You obviously, you're People Magazine's most 50 beautiful people in the world. So like, obviously, hey, it's going great. Oh, by the way, I saw that. I was just like, I would be fine with the rest of my life accomplishing nothing else if I made People Magazine's top 50. So congratulations on that. But in all seriousness,
thank you so much.
Wait, did you ever have any? We all have fears and insecurities. Sometimes the people we assume would never be insecure because, hey, I'm 50, People Magazine top 50. Did you have fears? What was that like? And how did you kind of overcome that, getting back out there and dating again? Or did you never? I mean,
I still have that. I mean, I think we all have insecurity about, I don't want to end up alone. I think that's one of my biggest fears. Not having someone, that I trust and love and have a great relationship with. I think we all feel that every now and then. But for me, having, being a single mom and, I'm a package deal. Whoever comes into my life has to be okay with being, sort of a stepdad. Luckily, my kid's dad is in their life, so they don't need a dad, but I want to have someone that has a great friendship with my kids. That's important to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody wants to grow old alone. And so I definitely sometimes feel like, oh my God, is this it?
How do you meet? How are you meeting people? Do you ever do dating apps?
I did it once and they didn't believe it was me. They thought they were being catfished. They were like, send me your real photos.
Really?
That's so
awesome.
No, yeah. I mean, which app was it?
Bumble.
Okay. Yeah,
I went on Bumble.
If I match with you on Bumble, I would have some
Some questions.
Some questions.
Yeah.
This is really you.
Yeah, I met a guy once from there, and we met at some restaurant, and he was like, the first thing he said is like, "Why are you single?" And that made me feel really bad. I was like,
Girl,
You're preaching
girl,
to this
I
one.
mean, yeah. Every day I have to be like, why are you single? Like, I just am. Mostly because I want to be, or not because I want to be, but because like I'm
Right.
fine with not picking someone just so you stop asking me why I'm single.
right.
Oh, that's interesting that you say that. I mean,
So
it
that
makes me feel better.
That made me sad. Yeah.
What'd you say to him?
I said, "Why are you single?" I just sort of threw it back at him. But I think people, people have an idea like when you look a certain way or whatever, that, they're lined up around the corner, but you want quality. I want quality over quantity, obviously. And it's hard these days to meet someone because everybody's doing the app dating thing. And I don't want to meet my guy like that. I want old fashioned. I see you from across the room, across the supermarket aisle, across the whatever.
Sure.
But is that realistic? I don't know if it is right now.
But what would you say if I said, it's not that there's anything wrong with dating apps, but it's what dating apps, kind of like in a way porn does, is it makes it unromantic, not because of it's a technology option, but because there's so many options, and that you feel like, this whole catfish idea, and it feels a little bit forced, and like, oh, I had a nice time with you, but like, do you have another date lined up later tonight or tomorrow?
Right.
But if you knew that it was, there's a focus between two people on a dating app, then that would be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or somebody said to me, why don't you do a matchmaker? And I was like, I don't want to feel like I have to pay someone to meet someone.
No, I know. Yeah.
So there's all these different things, but I feel like my guy is out there looking for me and I'm looking for him.
Do you have a lot of friends trying to set you up? I feel like you must. I feel like here you are, beautiful.
My friends always say, "Oh, I don't have anybody good enough for you." And I'm like, what does that say about who your friends are?
Well, no, I would agree with. I get asked. I have a lot of women friends. Like, do you have any friends? And I'm just like, not that I would set you up with. And part of it, and part of it is a lot of my core group of friends, people like that, my best friends that I love, they are married and settled down, right? Mm-hmm. And since moving to LA, I got a lot more of acquaintances, right? And I don't go out a lot. I'm not in the party scene or the social scene. So I don't have like a group of guys that I like roll out with, and a few guys I do know. Yeah, you don't want any part of them. Like I know them, they're fine. I'm not saying they're horrible people, but I don't, it is. Yeah. So,
I love your honesty. So are you on the apps?
I'm on Raya.
Yeah, I looked at that.
But mostly because of the security of I don't use it.
Right.
I don't really. I mean, I go on it, but I'm really bad at responding. It's something like I've gone on dates from it, but I do like it's just more. There's a level of security that makes me feel safer, it's not because sometimes I wish I felt safe on some of the other apps, because I wouldn't mind, like, I think it, Raya, there's great people on it, but sometimes it limits who can go on it, and you just want to meet some people who might not be in the industry, as they say, and give that a shot. But like, I don't know if I feel comfortable exposing myself to the Bumble community as a whole, or Twitter, or Tinder.
I checked out Raya, and I felt like I saw agents and managers that I knew, and that seemed weird. And I saw Daniel Radcliffe. I was like, wait a minute.
You saw Harry?
I did. I was like, what's Harry Potter doing?
What I've noticed, though,
it was pretty funny.
I've noticed on that app, though, is that there's, I think a couple years ago, I was like, who are some of the guys out there? So like, I changed my settings to like be
that's interesting.
Just to see, right?
Yeah.
Competition on there for there's a lot of, in terms, if for like names, right? There's not a lot of
really smart.
There's not a lot of names from women on that app. But there's a lot of names. If I'm not saying that matters or doesn't matter, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm competing against this guy. It's like, well, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
That Hemsworth, they'll get you every time. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I mean, no. There's at times been like, really, he's on here?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, I'll just shut it
That's
down.
interesting. That was really smart of you to do that, to switch it though, so you could see. That's really
That was
clever.
a couple years ago, but I'm a big believer in trying to open up as many doors and windows if you're trying to meet someone and
Smart.
take out the idea of it. You know, sure, I would love to meet someone at a grocery store and I have the courage to walk up to her and I say something charming, slightly awkward, but she thinks it's cute. And I
Right.
bumble with the lemons and they fall and I ask for her number and we fall in love. Like, that would be amazing.
Not
but,
that you've thought about it at all.
I'm so happy you said lemons and not cucumbers.
But 9 times out of 10, I see a cute girl at the grocery store and I think about talking to her and I chicken out and I never do.
Oh, you have to do it next time, please.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I chicken out. Have you ever hit on a guy out? Do you have an old school approach? I'm like, nope, he's gonna hit on me. Like, how are you?
No. I went to, when I first got to LA, I went on an audition and the casting director was really handsome. So I waited until after my audition and he was coming, back out to get the next actress. And I was like, hey, I'm new to LA. If you ever want to have coffee or anything, let me know. And he goes, you're so sweet. I would love to, but just so you know, I'm gay. And I was like, God damn. I had no gaydar.
Yeah.
None.
But 9 times out of 10 these days.
Casting director
Like story
has a
of my
lot.
life.
There's.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I was like, okay. But I would hit on a guy. I mean, I would let him know that I'm definitely.
Have you ever done it and got a date?
Have I ever what?
Have you ever done that and got a date? I mean, that was like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I think most guys, if I let you know that they're interested, then they'll come up to me.
Oh, so you put out the vibe, as they say.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What's your move?
A little longer eye contact, a smile, or, hi, stuff like that.
Okay.
Do you have a move?
I just awkwardly stare and I look away like a chicken.
We're going to have to work on that. You're going to have to work on that.
I should have more moves, but I have some moves,
I think you're good. I think you're fine.
I probably am.
Roller skate on by.
Yeah, I roller skate. I just sweep them off their feet with my wheels.
That's funny.
That really tests their gaydar.
Yeah.
You're fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. What's your favorite? What would be your ideal first date right nowadays?
Oh, my ideal first date. First of all, I wonder if I have to check his temperature, see a COVID negative test. I would then.
Smart, safe.
My ideal
Safe
first
sex
date would-
is a whole new different meaning nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh my God, completely. And they're saying they find now there's traces of COVID in semen, so that's interesting. I would be
Sorry, ladies.
a nice date on the beach, a nice dinner on the beach would be lovely. Sushi. I always go for sushi on the first date because it's quick. They don't have to cook it in case I need to bail.
Well, I would say if you're worried about bailing, I don't even bother with dinner. So
That's true too.
So you'll have dinner with a guy that you're unsure about?
No. But if it's not that you're unsure about, but you really don't know like how the conversation's going to flow, if he's going to act weird.
I totally agree because I'm always like, especially like in a dating app situation or let's God forbid a setup or it's just like, well, let's grab drinks or a cup of coffee because the whole idea is I don't know if we want it to go through the whole meal. What if we don't?
But most guys ask a girl for dinner, not really for coffee, because then that sounds like a lunch or an interview,
I guess. Am I doing that wrong?
Maybe.
Well, I'm gonna like drinks. Well, I haven't got, it's like grab drinks.
Drinks is good, but you also don't want to drink too much because, after 2 drinks, everybody looks a little bit better.
Yeah. I don't usually ask someone out for dinner and I'm like, unless I'm like
Really into it.
them.
really into
Yeah,
them.
because she's right. Like coffee can be like friend zoning.
I've done that though.
If
I've
a guy
asked
says, "You want to have coffee?" I'm like,
I've asked people out to dinner that was like, okay, I don't know anything about her, but sure, why not? And then have it be like, before we even like ordered a nap, I was like, oh God, this is going to be a while. This is
Right,
going to
exactly.
be painful. Like, here we go.
Sushi's good.
Sushi. So sushi. So heads up, if you agree to a date with a guy and you suggest sushi, you're not sure about him.
Yeah, I mean, I love sushi anyway, but yeah, I think they're not cooking it. It's really quick.
But if a guy's like, hey, do you want to I know this great Italian place, and you're not sure about him, would you agree to Italian if you liked him?
If I liked him, yes.
Okay.
I would agree to Italian.
Okay.
Or maybe let's have a drink first.
That's very funny. Yeah, maybe have a drink first and then go to Italian if it's going well. Yeah, I agree.
Any prospects out there? Or what do you?
Not yet. I got out of something a few months ago. So before COVID, not a few months, before COVID. So no, but right now I'm really in a good place. I just really feel like it'll happen when it's supposed to. I'm not actively looking, but if it happens, great.
That's awesome. Before we get into our fun little game, what are some projects and things that you're working on? I mean, obviously we talked about your podcast. Are you still doing Housewives? Or are you still?
We're done for the season. We just did our reunion. We just
How was
shot
that
remotely.
Was that aired?
Not yet.
It hasn't aired September 2nd.
So into the Housewives.
What tea can you give our listeners?
Listen, it was the hardest thing. Even though it was remote, it was still tense since I had never done it. And I felt like right out of the gate, they came for me. It was 13 hours and it took me 2 days to shake off all of it.
It was 13 hours?
Tough. 13 hours.
Did you guys get breaks?
We got a couple of little breaks and we had like a half an hour lunch, if you will.
So
it was crazy.
It started and it felt like you were
hard.
You were target number one?
Target number one, or what they do is they show your package of how the season went for you. And then of course they start asking you. So whoever goes first, I don't know if that's how they're going to edit it, but my package was first. So then everything came at me first.
Do you feel an expectation on that show to expose your dating life?
No, but I mean, they want to see all your life. So if you're single and you're dating, then yes.
How is that?
Has
that been a struggle? Like, how do you have that conversation with guys? Like, hey, by the way, we're going to go on a date and I'm going to bring a couple camera people.
You know what? That was
Italian
really
or sushi. Right?
I had just started dating the guy I was dating, and I said to him, "Hey, I'm invited to a party Saturday night. I would love for you to be my date, but just a heads up, it's going to be filmed." And I was surprised that he said yes so quickly. So he was all right with it. But I would totally respect a guy if he said, I'm really not up for that. And I actually would have thought that would have been cooler.
Yeah, because there's two sides to that coin where it's just like, wait, why did you say yes so quickly? Do you just want to, he knows who you are, he knows you're on the show, et cetera, versus, he doesn't want any part of that. And it makes me feel like a more sincere, genuine date. I guess you can look at it both ways, I suppose. Yeah,
you can look at everything both ways. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. But he was cool with it. So therefore that showed on the show.
Okay. Yeah. But which is not out yet.
No, that part was out.
No, that part was out.
There's little bits of it that's come out already that,
Do you survive the tell-all? Do you come out you're target number one?
So.
Okay.
I think
worried?
so. I mean, for me, I always speak up. I always say how I feel. So I definitely, I think for me also, the first season was really about letting people know who I am. I didn't feel like I needed to attack anybody. I didn't feel like, I stood up for Denise Richards because she was getting the brunt of it all this season. But it's really about getting to know who I am. It wasn't about coming out of the gate and attacking a woman.
Yeah.
That's not my style anyway.
I watched The Housewives, and I was to say you handled yourself amazingly, and not only amazing with the way you approached other people and the way that you speak, but you are such amazing example for a strong woman to speak her mind. So it's good to have on that franchise that kind of like sometimes gets in the weird waters there.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Well, what is interesting too is like sometimes just in general, people who are open about sex and dating sometimes get labeled them like raunchy and things like that. And yet talking to you, you're classy. And just being a fan of you your whole life and watching the things that you've been on and all the things that you've done, you're like, here you are, this classy woman who's also sex positive and open about sex. And I think that puts a nice spin on, you know, a liberating feeling to like, you don't have to sacrifice your class to have a little sass, you know?
Especially coming from a guy. I really appreciate that. Not that I didn't appreciate you saying you liked it too. But I feel like you can be that. You know, you can be. I mean, people go, oh my God, but you're a mom. What if your kids hear you? First of all, sexuality, I think, is obviously a universal thing. And I don't want my kids to feel like you have to hide from it. But I'm also still a woman. And I had sex in order to have them. You know what I mean? So I think I want my kids to be open. I try to say, you know, let's talk about sex. And they're like, Mom, and they roll their eyes and they get embarrassed. But I'm like, if we can talk about football, we can talk about movies. Why can't we talk about sex?
Yeah. Are you pretty open with your kids when it talks, not like about your sex life, but just sex in general?
Yeah, I try to, because I also want them, because they're boys, I want them to know a woman's side of it, not just what their dad tells them how you should be or what you should do. But I also feel like they should know the woman's side of it too.
Yeah. I never talked about sex with my parents, but my mom,
I didn't either. Trust me, I didn't either.
But in terms of like dating and being around women, my mom had a huge influence on my life about how to treat women.
That's awesome.
But
that's awesome.
I gotta be interesting raising boys and talking about. I mean, listen, truthfully, when you think about it, moms, if not more, should be just as open about sex with their sons, because like men don't know as much as you women know about what you women like, you know? And so you would think you would have a more kind of, not you, but like people, we don't talk about it, which is probably a big reason why sex, it's like humans are still bad at sex and understanding one another in 2020 because we don't talk about it.
Because we don't talk about it. I remember, like for my kids, I talk about, you know, consent, and they were like, what's consent? And I said, you know how like if we're going to the movies, we all have to agree on the movie? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, consent is that way too. You have to, both of you have to agree on what you want to do or what you don't want to do. And with my older son, Oliver, he was 15 the first time he had sex. And I was the first person he told. And I was like, I was standing there and the room was spinning because I was like, holy shit, you know, oh my God. And I remember him walking out of the room after he told me. And then he came back in and he was like, what's for dinner? And I was like, what's for dinner? I'm still processing.
I couldn't imagine telling my parents.
You know, I was happy he told me, but I was still like, holy crap. So I think it's important to be able to talk. I mean, I don't think you have to tell them everything, but I think it's important for them to feel comfortable enough to say, you know, Mom, if I do this, is it okay to, you know? So I don't know. I just try to make everything be accessible to them so they can ask me whatever.
If I'm lucky enough to have kids, I hope the conversations between my kids and my wife or partner, whoever she is, like, you know, I want my kids to have their own lives and privacy to a certain extent, but I want them to feel comfortable, and I don't want them learning from porn or their friends, because, you know, I learned a lot of stuff because my buddy's older brother told him stuff who told me stuff. And I'm like, that sounds kind of fucked up, man. I don't know, you know, like stuff like that. I'd rather have it be from, my parents in a kind of honest, non-judgmental situation. Like, you know, all they teach you in sex ed is like technically how to do it. The medical. Yeah. And then they're just like, hey, the only sure way to not ruin your life is to not do it, by the way.
Right. Which is unrealistic. I remember my kids just last year, they had sex education, and they talked about, you know, waking up in the morning and there's a teepee. Like, and I was like, oh God, really? It's a teepee?
It's not really a teepee. It's more like a coffin underneath a sheet. Well, it doesn't stand up. It, you know, stiff as a board, light as a feather.
Oh my God, that visual is too much.
I agree with you.
That it's too much, or that you agree with the
No,
analogy?
just the
Too much.
analogy
Too much.
gives a visual
Yeah.
that's too much.
Just
Yeah.
saying, it's not accurate. TP,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't-
Good to know.
Right. Anyways, Garcelle, do you have a little time for a fun little game called "Do You Know Me"?
Okay.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
it's real simple. It's real fun.
Okay.
Chrissy and I are going to guess who knows
Okay.
Garcelle better. It's real simple. Don't answer the question right away.
Okay.
Think about your answer. We're going to
Okay.
guess, and then feel free to elaborate within an anecdotal story if you have one. Also, simple yeses and nos or simple answers also work as well.
Perfect.
Ready?
Okay.
Do you know me with Garcelle? Also, I love your name, by the way.
Thank you.
Question number 1. Has Garcelle ever used handcuffs during sex? Has Garcelle ever used handcuffs during sex?
Mm,
I'm going to say yeah.
I'm going to say no. Maybe a silk scarf.
Yeah, and so if you've been tied up, yeah, it actually has to be handcuffs.
Say no to handcuffs.
I'm gonna say yes. Why not?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Score.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. So she is open.
I'm open.
Have you ever
not
done the tied up?
I have to really trust the guy, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That trust factor's got to be strong.
I'll be honest. It's something I tried when I was like a adolescent. You know,
And
I didn't like it.
No?
yeah.
No.
Like you were tied or she was?
I got she handcuffed me.
Oh.
I didn't like it. I was like, no, not for me.
Yeah.
Question opposite direction. Can Garcelle name 3 members of NSYNC? Can Garcelle name 3 members of NSYNC?
I'm going to say yes. Like everybody can name 3 members of NSYNC, no?
I know she can name 2.
Yeah. I think
2.
I know she can name 1. I'm going to assume she knows 1 more. I'm not sure about 3.
I mean, she's in Beverly Hills.
And I require first and last names to get this answer correctly. You can't just say
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no.
no. Justin Timberlake.
1.
Yep.
That's the one.
He owns a restaurant
It's not-
in West Hollywood.
That's it.
Lance Bass.
That's bad.
Joey
Lan-
Fatone.
Oh, and oh my God, I love those guys. I mean, I actually
JC
know
Chazez.
JC Chazé.
Chazé. And then Chris something.
Yeah.
My first girlfriend was a big NSYNC fan.
Yeah. I love Joey Fatone. And obviously Lance too.
It's okay. I won't tell him. Has Garcelle ever crashed a party? No, she's too classy for that.
I'm going to say yes.
By crashed a party, she knowingly showed up for a party she wasn't invited to. Not like she just like.
Yeah, but think about in her whole life.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm going to say yes.
I think she was invited to every party. Is what I think.
I have crashed parties,
Oh,
and I actually crashed the Oscars once.
okay.
That is not easy.
No.
I worked the
before,
Oscars.
Security. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the red carpet. I talked to Joan Rivers. And then
You
we
did
got
the
back to our
red
car and went,
carpet crash?
I did. And Joan Rivers even, talked to me about my outfit. And then we got in the car and we went to back to my house.
So
and told-
hard to do.
That was before security was super, super tight.
Hello.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
I'm like
That's
super
fun.
impressed.
Wow,
Like
yeah.
I've worked the red carpet for the Oscars for ABC for a lot of years, and it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's
Right.
not easy.
No.
All
You
right.
gotta act like you belong.
Next question. Yeah, but you do kind of, you
Well-
do, not even kind of.
Yeah.
How do you,
I don't know. Hashtag impressed.
yeah. If I showed up, then what the fuck?
No, they wouldn't. They'd probably be like,
No,
oh,
they
he's
wouldn't.
probably hosting
No, they wouldn't.
something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fine.
No,
I got
you would
through at the
totally
Golden
get it.
Globes, but the Oscars is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Garcelle ever played strip poker?
Mm. No.
I gotta say, I really appreciate your straight face because you're much better at some of this than other people who have played. They're just, you're really taking this seriously, and I appreciate it.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
No.
God, I know her.
Not the
so
exhibitionist
I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play poker. My kids do, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if strip poker is about playing poker.
Poker. That's true. Yeah. Good point. Good point. All
right. Last question. Keeping with the theme, has Garcelle ever had sex in a car?
Oh,
yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
If you haven't had sex in a car.
I mean, hello.
Absolutely. And I loved it.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I've had some good spontaneity.
Good car sex?
It started in an alleyway in Chicago and ended up in her car in a parking garage.
Oh, wow.
And I think about it. I was like, wow, that was risky.
Well, apparently 2020 Roadhead is back.
Is it? Yeah.
Did Roadhead ever leave? My bad.
Roadhead's like sex in the shower for me. It's like the idea, it's like.
Right.
But
like a challenge with the girl, though.
Yeah.
The guy pulls over. You're like, you're doing a good job.
But that car sex was like all about like, it had to happen when it happened.
Right.
And that was the only place we had. And it was like Titanic handprint. It was awesome. Now that I think about it, I forget about that.
So funny.
Yeah. Garcelle, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Can you remind the people where they can find you, anything you're working on? I know you're in books you've written. Just now is your time. Get it out there.
Now's my time.
Plug yourself.
Please listen to my podcast, Go Into Bed with Garcelle, anywhere you get your podcast. On Instagram, I'm at Garcelle. On Twitter, at Garcelle B. And just give me a shout out and say, hey.
Hey.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for
thank you so much
sharing your stories. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to send in your 5-star reviews. Send in your questions at asknick@castme.com. Cast with a K for our Monday Ask Nick episodes. We appreciate you sticking with us, listening in, and if there's nothing else, we'll see you on Monday.